a city or a village, or even the most simple human settlement. To put it straightforward, it's a collection of houses and dwellings interconnected by paths, streets and roads. It's in the nature of human beings to move and to connect. Hello, my name is Veronika Plietz and I work as sector economist for sustainable mobility at KfW Development Bank. Why is it important to finance sustainable mobility? Well, roads are like the blood vessels of the cities. Like water, sanitation and energy, they are essential to the functioning of the urban organism. Even more so considering that by 2050, 7 billion people are expected to live in cities. And this urbanization is taking place right now. So we need to act immediately to prevent the massive buildup of structures that damage our climate and our environment and ultimately make cities a miserable place to live in. Decarbonization of the transport sector plays an important role to reach the Paris Agreement goals. And this is an important mission at KfW. Beyond this, sustainable mobility affects people's lives in many ways. It is essential for health and safety. It fosters economic growth that today is hindered by the traffic collapse in the cities. It enables social inclusion through access to jobs, education, healthcare and culture. Vulnerable groups benefit in particular, among them girls and women who depend on safe public transport and non-motorized transit, significantly more than men do. And not least, it forms part of a just repartition of public space. Having said this, it is no surprise that sustainable mobility contributes to at least 8 Sustainable Development Goals. One of the main challenges for development finance institutions in the mobility sector is that political decision makers often are not yet aware of how important sustainable mobility is. This holds especially true for public transit and non-motorized modes. So the sector often does not receive the priority it deserves. And from there stems the lack of capacities in urban development and transport planning within the local authorities. Another challenge is regulatory constraints. Cities are most often not entitled to take up loans, whereas national governments not always share the priorities of the local authorities. In addition to this, infrastructure for walking and cycling and public transport do not yield immediate profits, which makes it even more difficult to attract financial support. KfW has to deal with those challenges. We try to make a difference through political dialogue and financial cooperation. KfW is the state-owned development bank. Acting on behalf of the German government, we promote sustainable social and economic development in Germany and globally. In sustainable mobility, we focus on public transport and non-motorized transit. That might be through project finance for public transport, projects on transit-oriented development, or financial support for sector reforms. There is no one-size-fits-all solution in this field. Together with the local partners, we assess which transport systems are best suited for each location. This includes exploring new mobility modes, such as e-buses, cable cars, or bike-sharing stations, or something quite different. In Kochi, India, efficient water taxi ferries proved to be a good solution to one of the city's urgent transportation problems. As partner of Tumi, the transformative urban mobility initiative, we already have provided more than 2.5 billion euro for projects in sustainable urban mobility since 2016. And another 2 billion are in planning and preparation. KfW's work is guided by 2 factors: the country strategies developed by the German government and the development strategies created by the partner country. The projects and programs are proposed by the governments of our partner countries. Our partners are able to receive interest-subsidized loans or, in some cases, grants. To meet the criteria of German financial cooperation, the project executing agency needs to have support from a national government body or a national financial institution. The project implementing partner shall also be able to manage the project in the long term. It is favorable if a sustainable urban mobility plan or a solid level of local planning is already available. And it's important that the implementing partner can cover the operating and maintenance costs, and that enough funding is earmarked in the local or the national budget so that the project remains financially sustainable. That said, KfW on behalf of the German government can provide assistance, means for capacity development within the project and preparation funds, for example for feasibility studies. We adhere to international environmental and social standards. To make sure the projects we support meet those benchmarks, local groups are duly engaged in the process, and we also take care that social, cultural and ecological aspects are taken into account in all phases of the project. We do provide assistance for that and in some cases additional funds. When it comes to KfW project examples, it's hard to pick just one reference project with new mobility solutions. We always try to support innovations in our partner countries. In India, for example, we are very active in this respect. In Tamil Nadu, we finance the modernization of the public bus fleet. We introduce state-of-the-art combustion vehicles to replace the old polluting buses. And we finance electric buses. 500 vehicles in the first step that will ultimately expand to 2,000 vehicles. 6 million passengers will benefit from this improvement every day. That's not all. Part of the project is also depot planning and staff training. Plus, we introduce a digital operating and passenger information system. 21 million passengers will ultimately benefit from this. And solar PV panels on the depot roofs will compensate for part of the energy used up by the operations. So all in all, it's quite an innovative project. Then there is the metro project for Mumbai. It will not only connect parts of the city within minutes. Special attention is paid to the integration of sidewalks and bike lanes into the system, so that people will be able to start and end their journey in a sustainable way. Another example comes from Colombia. Together with the National Development Bank FINDETER, KfW provides funds for exemplary neighborhoods in 4 Colombian cities. The idea is to promote urban development for a city of short distances. That means urban development takes place around transit stations. This way, a mix of commercial and residential buildings is created that lead to complete neighborhoods. There people can work, live, shop and spend their leisure time. This is often done by recovering degraded public space and enhancing cultural and commercial activities. If you wish to learn more about KfW Development Bank and our activities in sustainable mobility or other fields of international cooperation, please visit our website or contact us at the email addresses indicated below. We will be happy to help you move in a sustainable direction.